Many thanks for joining us on Aso Briefing today. I am Joy Annie. Let's begin with our top stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu pledges all salaries since May 2023 to Welfare Fund for Nigerian Armed Forces families. Plateau State Government orders 48 hours curfew in Jos North local government area. NNCC directs mobile network operators to compensate subscribers with low-quality service experience. You are watching Aso Briefing. We are live on DSTV, channel 392, also on StarTimes TV, channel 127, and Free TV, channel 507. We are also on the UHF band on channel 38. Now let's start with all our stories. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has pledged to donate all his salaries since assuming office in May 2023 to a newly established welfare fund aimed at supporting members of the Nigerian Armed Forces and their families. President Tinubu announced this in a statement he personally issued on Sunday to mark his 74th birthday. The statement says they directed the Accountant General of the Federation to establish a special account for a fund dedicated to members of the armed forces who serve wounded in the line of duty and the families of those who have paid the ultimate price. President Tinubu urged leaders, the private sector and Nigerians to support the fund, stressing that caring for soldiers and their families is a national duty. President Tinubu on December 2nd, 2025 launched the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day emblem and appeal fund at the State House, Abuja, marking the start of activities ahead of the January 15 commemoration. Now, leader of the Senate, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, has said that the National Assembly has started working on a decentralized police model that would emphasize accountability and discourage the abuse use of police by the political class. Bamidele, who also Vice Chairman, Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution, added that the Parliament is committed to crafting a framework for a decentralized police model that will serve the interest of all regardless of their status. He made these remarks in a statement by personally issued on Sunday to celebrate the life and exploit of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his 74th anniversary, while commending diverse initiative he had promoted to secure and stabilize Nigeria. He said following security challenges confronting the Federation, key stakeholders had pushed for a decentralized police model that would reflect the country's federal characters as a measure to effectively protect lives and property across the country. The Senate leader disclosed that while President Tinubu had openly supported the decentralized model, the Nigeria Police had submitted a 75-page comprehensive framework to the Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Jibrin Baral, for legislative consideration. Senator Bamidele commended Tinubu for building synergy with the National Assembly to arrest the spate of insecurity in the country, noting that the president had been looking beyond traditional approaches to address the roots of extremism, terrorism, and armed attacks. Senator Opeyemi Bamidele also celebrated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at 74. He described the president as a man of history, purpose, and vision who rose above barriers to steer the ship of the country. Let's turn attention to Abaji now, as the chairman of Abaji Area Council, Alhaji Abubakar Umar Abdullahi, has congratulated the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on the occasion of his 74th birthday. In a congratulatory message issued in Abuja, the Abaji chairman described President Tinubu as a visionary leader whose dedication, courage, and commitment to the unity and progress of Nigeria continue to inspire millions across the country. Alhaji Abubakar Abdullahi commended the president for his unwavering effort in repositioning the nation's economy and strengthening democratic institutions since assuming office. He noted that the renewed hope agenda of the Tinubu administration has continued to provide a clear pathway for sustainable development and improved governance. The Abadi Council chairman further praised the president's leadership style, which he said has encouraged inclusiveness, national cohesion, and people-oriented policies aimed at improving the living standards of Nigerians. He also prayed for God to grant President Tinubu many more years in good health, wisdom, and strength to continue steering the affairs of the nation towards greater prosperity and stability. Alhaji Abdullahi also reaffirmed the support and loyalty of the people of Abadi Area Council to the administration of President Tinubu, expressing confidence that Nigeria will continue to witness meaningful growth under his leadership. Now let's talk politics. The National Convention of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, held yesterday in Abuja, backed by the Minister of FCT, Barrister Ezenwoye Samwike, welcomed over 2,000 delegates from across the country taking part in the exercise. Several chieftains of the party, which held sway at the center from 1999 to 2015, were at the Moshood Abiola Stadium, where the convention happened. Muhammad Anayawu emerged through a consensus along with 19 other members of the new National Working Committee of the PDP. Other prominent party members who attended the convention were a former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, a former Senate President, Bukola Saraki, and former Kaduna State Governor Ahmed Makarfi, among others. Addressing delegates at the convention, Minister of FCT, Barrister Samwike, identified as the national leader of the party, said that healing in the PDP had begun.
By the grace of God, PDP will win the ballot of 2027. We have seen the reconversion. The conversion has been monitored by the electoral umpire. That's the conversion that recognized. And I thank God the INEC team, led by able senior advocate of Nigeria, not just a commissioner, senior advocate of Nigeria, has to tell you the importance of this convention.
Now, he assured the members that the PDP will be on the ballot for the 2027 general elections. Now, still talking politics, the All Progressives Congress, APC, directed its state and zonal coordinators to intensify grassroots mobilization by promoting President Bola Tinubu's policy achievements in the lead-up to the 2027 general elections. Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, the national coordinator of the party's Renewed Hope Ambassadors Network, issued the directive during the group's fourth strategic meeting in Abuja. The gathering followed an earlier session organized by the Progressive Governors Forum in February at the Presidential Villa, attended by President Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima. The network is designed to propagate President Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda at a community level under a unified strategy, one party, one message, one mobilization framework. He credited President Tinubu for boldly implementing reforms to reposition Nigeria's economy and warned that opposition parties were resorting to misinformation to undermine developmental programs. While he called for unity among the ambassadors network, leveraging the ruling party's support 31 governors already in its fold. The Imo State governor also highlighted pre-Tinubu challenges, which he said failed subsidy removal attempt by past presidents, minimum wage at 30,000 naira, and millions of out-of-school children. He added the rice prices dropped from nearly 120,000 naira per bag to two years ago to around 50,000 naira currently. All of these, he stressed, needs to be communicated to Nigerians and the progress the government has been making in improving their lives. Governor Ubasani of Kaduna State, Deputy Director General and Governor Inua Yahya of Gombe State, in their separate remarks, supported the position, expressing confidence that the group's prominent members would persuade Nigerians of the APC's delivery on promises since taking power in 2023. Specifically, Kaduna State Governor Sani called for amplifying Tinubu administration successes with subnationals such as primary healthcare upgrades and other disseminating to grassroots. The Gombe Governor Inua Yahya urged coordination synergy would aid the task of spreading the successes of the administration easier, including the tackling of insecurity in the northeast. Now let's take you to Jos in Plateau State, where government has ordered a curfew following the tragic security incident that occurred at Gariyawe community Angwan Rukuba community in Jos North local government area from Sunday 29th March 2026, resulting in the loss of lives, while several others sustained varying degrees of injuries. A confirmation by the Commissioner for Information and Communication, Right Honorable Joyce Lohia Ramnap, confirmed that the state government, in conjunction with security agencies, wishes to inform the general public of imposition of a 48-hour curfew within Jos North local government area with immediate effect, commencing from 12 midnight of 29th March to 1st April 2026. The government, under the leadership of His Excellency Governor Caleb Manasseh Muftwang, strongly condemns this barbaric act and unprovoked attack on innocent Nigerians, and assures the public that all necessary measures are being taken to apprehend the perpetrators and bring them to justice. He urged citizens to remain calm, stay vigilant, and cooperate fully with security agencies by providing any useful information that may aid ongoing investigations. Now, the FCT, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has pledged to donate all his salaries since assuming office. This and more we'll give to you when Aso Briefing returns. Please stay with us.
Some things don't arrive, they've always been. Not for a day, for all of time. Until quietly something shifts. Moving from someday to now. Women are not honored in time. They are woven through it, shaping every story, every voice, every breath. We are because she is, and because tomorrow they will be.
Many thanks for staying there. You are watching Aso Briefing. Watch us live on DSTV channel 392. Also on StarTimes TV channel 127 and Free TV channel 507. We are also on the UHF band on channel 38. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has partnered to curb the spread of tuberculosis in the country. Let's hear that report from Elizabeth Kasham.
In his address, the FCT Director of Public Health, Dr. Dan Gadzama, described Mabushi community as the TB epic center in the territory, stressing that informing and empowering community is vital as they remain strongest allies in the fight against TB.
Ending TB can no longer depend solely on external support, as it were. It must be driven by national leadership and community participation. This year's theme emphasizes that communities are the driving force in ending TB. Mabushi community, where we are today, is one of the high-burden communities, and this is precisely part of why we have selected this community. Now, communities plays a critical role in early detection of TB, in reducing stigma, supporting treatment adherence, and promoting health-seeking behavior.
Other partners who spoke during the campaign emphasized that sensitization is key for educating the community and dispelling persistent myths about TB, a disease that continues to pose significant threats to public health.
And indeed, today is an opportunity for us to create additional awareness. Any pending myths and disbeliefs, let's take the messages back. All of us to join hands to ensure that the achievements we've done so far will do much better.
Oftentimes we have conversation about TB, but we neglect the children. But here, we should be reminded that children too are often affected by TB. And so they should be at the center of our conversation. And as a community, we are committed to continue to do the work that we do at the community level to ensure that everyone gets the information, the correct information, know where to go to and where to seek care in case they are tested positive.
The FCT administration says it has aligned with national successes in TB control, recording its highest performance in 2025 with over 40,000 presumptive cases detected and screened and 3,679 cases officially notified. It describes the achievement as a remarkable milestone, noting that the figures represent more than statistics as they reflect lives identified, treated and untimely saved. Elizabeth Kasham, Aso Television News.
Now, the Nigerian Communication Commission, NCC, has directed mobile network operators to provide compensation to subscribers whose network quality of service experience is below specified targets within specific locations. The directive was given in a statement by NCC Head, Public Affairs Department, Nena Okoha, and made available to newsmen in Abuja. According to the statement, the Commission's position is that subscribers should not be made to bear the full burden of service disruptions where operators fail to meet prescribed standards of service delivery. Under this directive, airline operators will compensate affected users directly for breaches of quality of service, that's the QoS, key performance indicators, the KPIs, and the compensation, she noted, will be provided in the form of airtime credits, calculated based on subscribers' average spending patterns and their presence within local government areas where service failures occurs. The directive is rooted in the Commission's broader regulatory philosophy that places the consumer at the center of Nigeria's telecommunication ecosystem. Telecommunication service today underpins economic activities, social interaction, and access to digital opportunities. While regulatory fines have traditionally served as a deterrent against poor service delivery, the Commission is adopting a more consumer-focused approach that strengthens accountability within the industry. Further to this directive by the Commission to MNOs and compensation to consumers, the Commission is also mandating tower companies who owns the critical infrastructure for quality of service delivery, such as NATS, and to invest in infrastructure with measurable outcomes, using sums that it has fined these companies in addition to other financial fines. The Commission will deem appropriate. Now, as Christians all over the world commemorate Palm Sundays, marking the very beginning of the Holy Week, a solemn Mass was celebrated at the St. Augustine Catholic Church in Dutse, Sabagi. The Mass, officiated by Reverend Father Emmanuel Bala, emphasized the significance of Christ's sacrifice in redeeming humanity from sin. Daniel Obi has that report.
Reverend Father Bala reminded Christians that Christ's sacrifice is a demonstration of God's love for humanity, offering forgiveness and eternal life to those who believe in Him. He encouraged Christians to reflect on their own lives and turn towards God, embracing the values of love, forgiveness, and compassion.
As we begin the Holy Week, may the Lord strengthen each and every one of us in a time where there is no hope in our nation. We have to tell people to be hopeful. Christ has entered into Jerusalem for our sake, to grant us life everlasting. What else do we have to do? We can commit our country, our suffering, our joys, our sorrows into God's hands.
Congregants expressed happiness on witnessing another Palm Sunday celebration. They equally urge Christians to continue to uphold the traditions of Christ's passion.
Advising all the Christians that will join us, let's celebrate the Easter period.
It's in fact the Sunday where we go back home and we sit and we have deep, sober reflection about our lives as Christians.
We keep doing it so that generations yet unborn we see this and they also partake in it. Because if the early Christians had stopped this, we will not have benefited from it today. But here we are doing it for future, for our children yet unborn.
Palm Sunday is, should I say, one of the most amazing Sundays, because this is when we get to proclaim Christ as the Son of David and King of the universe. So today signifies our love for Him, our worship to Him, and how royal He is to us.
Palm Sunday, which commemorates Jesus Christ's triumphant entry into Jerusalem, is significant for the fulfillment of the prophecy as foretold of His journey to crucifixion for the redemption of man from sin. Daniel Obi, Aso Television News.
And now the Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa CAPA has again called on the federal government to significantly increase budgetary allocation for tobacco control. CAPA's Executive Director Akimbode Oluwafemi made the call in a statement by Media and Communication Officer CAPA Robert Egbe. Mr. Oluwafemi said Nigeria's current budgetary allocation remained grossly inadequate to address the growing public health threat posed by tobacco and emerging nicotine products. He urged the government to raise the annual tobacco control allocation to at least 300 million naira and ensure sustained increases in subsequent budgets. CAPA Executive Director noted that the current funding levels fell far short of what is required to effectively implement the National Tobacco Control Act, the NTCA 2015. Meanwhile, CAPA has underlined how international tobacco and allied companies are exploiting policy gaps to flood the Nigerian market with highly addictive novel products. This is contained in its new report, New Smoke Trap, New and Emerging Nicotine and Tobacco Product, Youth Exposure and Policy Gaps in Nigeria. Mr. Oluwafemi stated that the product included electronic cigarettes, vapes, and other smokeless nicotine devices targeted at young Nigerians. And our federal government says it is saddened over the passing of former President Dlamini Zerolo of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, who died at the age of 84. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Kimibe Imomotemi Bienfair, via a statement, conveyed Minister of Foreign Affairs Ambassador Yusuf Meitamatuga condolences to His Excellency Ahmed Attaf, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the national community abroad of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, the government and people of Algeria, as well as the family of the late former president during this period of national mourning. According to the statement, it reads that Nigeria joins the people of Algeria in honoring the memory of President Zerroul, a distinguished statesman, patriot, and former military officer whose service to his country spanned critical moments in Algeria's national history. His leadership during a challenging traditional and transitional period, and his role in guiding Algeria through political stabilization and democratic transition remain significant chapters in the country's institutional development. It also reads that the government and people of Nigeria stand in solidarity with the government and people of Algeria and convey sincere prayers for strength, comfort, and peace. But that's so much we can take on Aso Briefing today. Thank you for watching. I am Joy Annie. Have a great day ahead.